Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tara Omelade, your Goddess Guru, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self realization and self mastery. Today, I want to continue a discussion that I was having, but I cut it off in the last video because I was like, you know what? This is unto itself. And the way I titled this is, Are You a Copycat in Your Spirituality? Right? Because I talked about the importance of not living or transcending our conditionings in the other video. And I was asking who is saying, oh my God, I really need to do that. And then I thought to myself, it's people out there who think I don't need to change or I am changing, but they don't realize that they actually are piling on conditionings. Some people are like, I don't need to change. Like, I literally do not know what you're talking about. And some people are thinking that they're changing. And this is really who I'm talking about more than anything or anyone. You think you're changing, but you're really just piling on conditionings. And it actually kind of goes back to the other video that I wrote about things that I want people to know about Ifa. This doesn't apply just to Ifa because I've seen it across the board in so many different ways. Within the meta matter, there's the tree of life. And on the tree of life, there's the energy of Sobek. Sobek is the energy of the mind. I relate Sobek also to the energy of Mercury and Eshu Alegua. So it's a trickster energy, a fun energy. But Sobek, just like Mercury, is a neutral energy. Wherever Sobek is, this is what Sobek will conform to. So if Sobek is hanging out with people that are about the business of the business, that's what Sobek is going to be doing. If Sobek is hanging out with people who are dancing, Sobek's going to be dancing. All right. Sobek hanging out with people who are doing readings and all, into what do you call it? Psychic abilities. That's what Sobek's going to be doing. Right. And it's okay because, like I talked about in the other video, this is one of the faculties where it's open in little babies. They come and this is how they're able to learn about their world. They have to be able to see. We little bitty humans have to be able to see what's going on in order to learn how to survive. Okay. So, but if we never transcend the Sobekian way of being, this is how we call it Sobekian. We don't transcend the Sobekian way of being, then we will be monkey see, monkey do. I've seen adults like this. They don't really have their own thing. They adjust and adapt. They don't know who they are. They adjust and they adapt based on who's around them. They literally are monkey see, monkey do. And so the question is, what do we do? This video is more about I want to give you a caveat. Transcend Sobek. All right. Now we have within the Metanatter, it's talked about this tree of life. We all have the tree of life within us, which means we all have these faculties within us. Within E5, we would talk about we have all of the Orisha within us, right? So we have access to all of these faculties. It would be crazy to get rid of Sobek. That's like saying, y'all, we don't need Mercury. Mercury is so much a part of what we do, right? It's such an important planet. So we're not going to toss Sobek out, but we can't operate from the Sobekian place. And a lot of times what ends up happening is, so Sobek is the opposite of Ma'at. Oops, sorry. Sobek is the opposite of Ma'at. And the more I study astrology, the more I'm like, Rahu Nefaramin knows a lot about astrology because that is so much within that it's like astrology. Anywho, we have Sobek opposite and I give thanks for that because it helped to make me learning astrology super easy. Because that tree of life and so much of what he teaches is so, a lot of it is very similar to astrology. So we have Sobek and we have Ma'at. Sobek is the mind and fine details, and Sobek can, it has a lot of information. All right, just like Mercury. Then we have Ma'at, which is like Jupiter or Sagittarius. And this energy is um, more about higher philosophy, the vision. It's this big way of thinking, right? And my aunt doesn't always see the details. My aunt can see all of the episodes, but knows that they fit within a big picture. So this is why my aunt stays optimistic, positive. She ain't tripping, right? Because she knows the big picture, and she is like, oh, it doesn't matter what happens on the journey, as long as I know it's pointing me in the direction of the vision. I'm good. I'm going to make everything work for me. Okay. So a lot of people think that they're Ma'at. A lot of people think they're Ma'at, and they're really Sebek. Because what Sebek does is Sebek will see the episode and think that it's the vision. Sebek actually is like early education. It's just acquiring a lot of information. It doesn't necessarily. So I mean, to me, mercurial people are very smart. That's my experience. So I'm not slighting anybody. I'm just saying this particular faculty is largely about information, bits and pieces. And so it will see a bit of the information and it thinks it knows everything. And most of the people, like our whole education system, oftentimes is very Sabekian. It's just going to give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You'll never know too much about anything until you get to, say, maybe master's level, right? And so in spirituality, what I notice is that people will get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And they aren't able to transcend that. They will take a little bit of this spirituality and tack that name onto them, and a little bit of that spirituality and tack that name onto them. Or they do just enough to come off looking like they are deep into this spiritual tradition when really they don't know much. And so I just encourage you, and that's Sebek is known to be well, like I told y'all, a copycat. And when you're a copycat, sometimes we have to just sort of like do what the person is doing. So I'm good for that. So, like for instance, when I first started learning astrology, who am I to tell the astrologers what to do? The astrologers say, plug in these numbers, and this is what this means, this is what that means. That's what I do. Right? There is a point where we do have to learn. I believe in having a teacher. And so once we start learning the new spiritual information, we should be applying it to the point where it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm getting some deeper insights that may not be coming from the teacher. And this spiritual wisdom or this spiritual information is now turning into wisdom. It's now turning into something that I can stand on. It's a part of my foundation. I can stand on it. I can use it to affect positive change in my life. A lot of times when you're doing copycat versus my eye, is you'll think, well, I'm the only one that really, my way of doing this is the right way. And, um, you can spout off a lot of information, a lot of points, and people will be looking at you like, well, why does your life look messed up? Or you'll know your life isn't changing. You'll know your life is not profiting at all from what you know, because you're not applying it. You're just out there looking like everybody, and the pressure is on. I do not make this to be mean. I make this because first, I mean, to a certain degree, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes now that I have been around for a while, it can be a little annoying. um, God bless everybody. God has blessed everybody. I love everybody, but it can be a little annoying. Um, but yeah, we really and truly want to make sure that we are growing, that we are evolving, that we do the copycat thing for a little while because, yeah, sometimes you've got to learn sometimes the information. But the only way you can evolve and move past it. Oh, I know what I was saying. There's a lot of pressure for people to be looking a particular way, because of all this social media that we have now as a part of our society. People get on and talk about all kinds of stuff that they don't know about. And I'll see people commenting and like, oh, yeah, 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 and it's like, this person really is not like saying too much. And my thing is, if you're going to copycat, especially spirituality, at least just say, y'all, I really don't know a lot. I just find it to be fun. And, but most of the time copycats don't think that they don't think they're copycats. They think they actually really know. And that's to a certain degree the problem because copycats can, if they go too far, if they're convincing enough, they can cause a lot of people to get hurt. But the majority of the time, a copycat is just not going to be growing. And that will be one of the ways you'll know. Am I just doing what my teacher does day in and day out? I'm not changing. And sometimes you will find people who are teachers that want you to be a copycat. They want to keep power and control over you. Copycat does not lead to empowerment. It does not lead to growth. It does not lead to change. Copycat leads to you basically staying where you are, and you may feel like you're a fraud. You may look like you're a fraud, or you just keep doing what everybody else is doing. You never actually really bloom and blossom and be who you really are. So you always have to ask yourself, am I being a copycat or a spiritual copycat? Or am I doing my due diligence to be the student and learn the information because that's respectful of these traditions that have been around for, thousands of years? It would be, it's okay if we decide we're going to have a teacher. But at some point, this information should turn into actual wisdom that you can apply to your life in a way that allows you to grow and change and become more authentically who you were put here to be. So I love you if you're a copycat. I'm not putting you down. Y'all know I don't bash people. That's not my way. But somebody need to tell y'all. My mother would tell me when I was younger, and she would tell me stuff I didn't want to hear. She would tell me, I would be wrong if I didn't tell you the truth, baby. You can do whatever you want to, but I'm going to tell you the truth. So I'd be wrong if I didn't tell you. Some of y'all need to know you a copycat. You ain't changing. You just playing. And it would behoove you to listen to what, the wise souls who don't have anything to really to gain by telling you what they're telling you. They don't have nothing to gain. A lot of spiritual teachers do what they do because they care. Their life is fine. They have been called to share and help other people grow, evolve, and step into their power. So, if somebody's telling you, if you have 3 or 4 teachers tell you the same thing, you might need to change. If you see somebody who's working with people and you're like, wow, these people's lives really are getting better, and that person tells you this is what you need to do, you might need to do what they say do. That might be an indication of exactly what you need to do. If you don't do it, you might be doing some spiritual copycatting. Don't do that. Not in a negative way. There's positive now that I've made this video, I see there's positive copycatting and negative copycatting. Be a positive copycat. All right. Learn from the teachers. And the last thing I'm going to end with, and I say this with much respect, and I say it as somebody who applies this even to this day. I actually don't consider myself to be, I consider myself to be someone who knows what she knows, and I can share what I share, and it resonates with quite a few people. But I feel like I have very, very, very far to go in my growth and my evolution. So when I go and I listen to my teacher, Ia Oshinike, for instance, and when Baba G. Kaliosa was alive, I would do what Ra'un Nefer Amen said. When you sitting at the foot of the sage, zip your lips, be quiet. That's how I am. When I'm around people who know more than I know, I'm like, Now, if you ask me a question, I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'll give you another example. It's the ones who are quiet. The people who don't do a lot of talking, the listeners, they know everything. I started realizing, you know what? The listeners are the ones that I like hanging out with because I know I have a propensity for chatting. And so I'm gonna hang out with the ones who do a lot of listening because I know if I miss something, they're gonna know. And they're so sweet, they're gonna tell me. But after a while, I started saying, I'm gonna be more like the listeners. I'm gonna be quiet and I'm just gonna soak it all up from the gurus out there and the teachers. If you find yourself trying to impress someone who you think is spiritually, you know, up there or whatever, then you might be a negative copycatter. All right. And to become a positive copycat, you get quiet around them. You listen. They said, I did A, B, C, and D. And then you go do A, B, and C, and D. And you do it over and over and over and over and over. Okay. So the thing about Sobek, the Sobekian faculty, when you're doing it in the right way, Sobek can hear, it'll write notes, it'll journal, and it will use its mind, somewhat logically to piece together what was said and figure out a game plan on how, it's going to use it. And then it goes about doing that. And then it pays attention to the details of, okay, what's going on? Did it work? Did it not work? And what worked and what didn't work? And how can I change this? You know? So Sabak is welcome. Sabak is welcome. We just want to make sure we use the faculty in a positive manner that moves us forward and doesn't hinder us. This is Tyrone Milade. Hope that this has been helpful. Again, I'm a softie. I'm not beating anybody up. I love you. And because I care, is why I put out this video, which may come off a little bit, snarky. I'm not meaning to be snarky. I'm just trying to help. I really do want to help. Please like the video, share the video. Let me know, how did you transcend being a copycat, a negative copycat? And if you are interested in a reading or joining my Inner Circle membership site, where I share weekly community readings and a monthly reading along with a monthly course, you can find all of that out at my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com. Hope all is well with you all, and I will see you pretty soon. For those of you who are watching this, when I'm putting it out, be looking for the new moon in Taurus video. Yeah, we're coming up to a new moon. What are you going to release and let go of? Because this Taurus new moon, it's about manifesting. Yes. It's about manifesting material gain. All right. And manifesting money. So, y'all, come on. Let's do this. All right. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.